Hello everyone, I'm DonTheCrown, and today I want to take a quick break while we're waiting for the servers to come back up during maintenance to help you avoid making some massive mistakes while you're gearing up. And one of the big questions I keep seeing in my chat is, what do you do when you find better armor or better weapons or better gear than what you have right now from your Chaos Dungeon set? And I want to tell you exactly how you do it, all the upgrading and stuff, without making a major mistake. And so before we do that, let's talk about where gear comes from in general in the game that we know of right now. And so you've probably heard that there's tier 1, tier 2, and there's tier 3 content in the game. You've probably heard these terms bandied around. If you hadn't, we'll explain it real quick. So tier 1 is basically the continent of Vern, Shoeshire, and Rohendel. If you're doing continent stuff in these continents, you're in tier 1. Tier 2 is the continents of Yorn and Phaeton. And once you're doing content there, you're doing tier 2. Tier 3 is the basically Punica is the only tier 3 zone right now, but eventually there'll also be South Vern, which is the other half of Vern's, like West Vern really. And basically, to progress up the tiers, you have to get your gear leveled up enough or honed up enough to finish the quest to go to the next tier. And so, for example, in tier 1, once you get to 600 gear score, which is an average of plus 15 across all your gear, you'll be able to take the Yorn quest and do your Yorn storyline. You get to meet the dwarves. It's a really fun continent. And then after you've progressed a little bit more, I think it's like 960, you get to go to Phaeton. And then once you got into 1100, you'll be able to go to Punica. And it's basically the same thing all the way through, but it's kind of a little bit confusing for new players, because basically your first set of gear comes from Chaos Dungeons or the Shoeshire quest line. So you hit level 50, you can finish up whatever quest you're working on, probably in Arthentine or something like that. I hit 50 like halfway through Arthentine, and then you go to Vern, you do the storyline there, and eventually it tells you, hey, there's this Chaos Dungeon, you can do it. And you will drop a set of 302 blue gear out of this Chaos Dungeon. And you can level this up by doing honing. In the like southeast corner of Vern, there's a honing like person, and you just talk to them and they help you upgrade your gear. And this is using all of those upgrade materials that you're going to be searching the seas for, all the different islands to upgrade stuff. But eventually you might run your Abyss dungeon there in Vern, which requires 340 gear score, and the 340 gear score Abyssal will give you the materials to craft your purple set. And the purple set will come out as 302. So it might be like, huh, this set looks a lot nicer, but it's only 302, and I already like honed up my other gear to like +4, +5, +10. Like, I don't want to lose all that progress. And you don't have to. Basically, if you go to the honing person, at the bottom, there is like 2 tabs. One of them is honing, and the other one is transfer. And so if you click the transfer tab, you will be able to like pick your new purple hat and transfer the honing of your blue hat directly onto it, saving all of your progress. You won't lose any progress this way. Be able to keep upgrading without losing anything, and basically just turn your +4 blue hat into a +4 purple hat. But it gets even better than that, because when you're making your purple and orange sets from Abyssals, you can just keep crafting them over and over again until you get the quality roll you want. So for the purple one, and even the orange one, the armor quality doesn't matter that much. Like if you're above 40% or something, you're totally fine. But for weapons, the weapons scale the bonus damage depending on their quality. So you probably want to get that up pretty high. So the first thing I do when I'm going to one of these sets is I go to the Abyssal Crafter. Their symbol on the map looks like a sword, basically. I think it's on a green shield. And you just craft a bunch of swords, and then the swords that are low quality, you dismantle them, and you get exactly the materials you need back from these guys to keep crafting it. So you could craft forever if you really wanted. It does cost silver, but you can just keep on rolling until you get good quality. Like having a 90% quality sword is a lot better than a 10% quality. I think at orange level, it goes up to like 15% more damage, basically, at good quality, at like 100% quality. So that's a lot of damage. That's probably more than some of your engravings that you have on your gear. And so this is pretty good way to get solid damage. Another thing to note is that if you're running these abyssal dungeons, on the side over here, there'll be a panel that says like view more rewards or something like that, and it will have showed all the stuff that you did earn. You want to click the button that's like right here, and this is going to give you the ability to spend gold on getting basically more loot. And you got paid gold for completing the dungeon, like it's one of your rewards, and you got paid more gold than the cost of the double loot is. So buy the double loot. There's shards here. There's like 1,500 shards, I think, for every abyssal you run extra that you're leaving on the table if you're not spending the like 30 gold or something. And so you definitely want to do this. And then you also get enough materials to make your sets as well. You definitely, hands down, have enough. I've done all 4 sets in tier 1 and 2. So I did my Vern, I did my Rohendel, I did my Yorn, and then I did the Gate of Paradise Abyssals, and I got all the sets so far, and just buying the extra box in every one has worked out just great. And yeah, you will always be transferring your honing all the way through the system. And so once you get 600 and with your Rohendel gear, and if you've done the Palace Abyssal Raid, you have 600 gear score, legendary armor, you feel real big and badass. And you're going to transfer that onto the 302 blue gear that you get out of the Yorn Chaos Dungeon. Now note, you can't do the Chaos Dungeon in Yorn until you've completed the story in Yorn, and that's how it is from every continent from Rohendel on. But that plus 15 is going to turn into a plus 1. And that feels a little bad probably, but you have to also remember that your chances of success are also kind of scaled based off how much plus you have on the gear. And so you're going to go from like 40% chance to succeed to 100%. And so you're just going to rock it up. If you do all of the islands that are like basically between Vern and Lutera, you just like kind of go west to Young Man and get all of the materials, you're going to rock it up to like almost 1,000 in one day. Go from 802, 1,000, one day. Super duper easy. From there, it can get a little bit slower, but for the most part, tier 2 has been pretty fast. And right now I'm sitting at 1090. And my Mari secret shop is just not working right now. So that's pretty fun. Hope you guys benefit from this explanation. I'm sorry if it was a little rambly. It's kind of just a live take type of thing. But if you have any other questions about this, please leave them in the comments below or come by the stream. See ya.